Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another CCW Insider Wednesday night. I know we're a little bit delayed here, a little bit past our 7:30 usual start time, but you know what? We're here. We're kicking things off after a great weekend, last weekend of having 3 shows. Axel Rome here with Lizzie Almeida. Let's not forget introductions. I'm already on a roll here, but welcome you guys to CCW Insider. Let's just get going. We started a little bit late. So let's just talk about, we had 3 shows last weekend in St. Petersburg, Nashville, and in Pompano. And what a crazy weekend we had from the return of Agony teaming up with Monster Mosh. I mean, what really was that about? But I guess we're just going to be figuring out a little bit later on what that new partnership is going to be about. But we also had Meadow retaining his CCW World Championship against Hardcore Horvath. We also saw a brutal bunkhouse match between Fabu Andre and Tony Twist. Well, depending on who you ask, you had an upset for Fabu Andre, Tony Twist coming out victorious that night. But there's just a lot to talk about from the previous weekend that we just can't dive into this week, Lizzie. But how are you feeling this week? Let's get started with, let's just catch up with each other. Let's take a breath.
I know. Yeah, take a breath. It's obviously you're catching up. It's a lot. 3 shows in a weekend. I know we always say this, but I don't know anyone who's doing it. I don't know how CCW is doing it, but definitely a lot to come down off of. And it's, you know what, we're just doing our best, but we got to keep up. So let's get to it.
That's right. And this week we're now going to be talking about Bash at the Brew 46 back in Miami for Bash at the Brew 46 at the Tank Brewing Company. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, do so at ccwrestlingfl.com. It's going to be a great night that we're finally returning for our second time at the Tank Brewing. If you ask me, Lizzie, I think our first time went well, right? I think the fans had a great time. I think the staff even at the venue had a great time. How did you think our first night at the Tank went?
You know what? It felt like home. It really did. Like it didn't feel like our first time at that venue. Everything just transitioned so smoothly right into it. So I'm very happy that we found a new home in the Tank, and really, really excited to keep the Bash party going every first Saturday of the month.
That's right, and that means you have to get your tickets now. If you haven't done so, at ccwrestlingfl.com to get your tickets for Bash at the Brew 46 this Saturday. Show starts at 8, but if you get there a little early, around maybe 7:30, we have some awesome pre-show matches so that if you get there early, you get a little early bird treat, right? But without further ado, let's get started on talking about some of our matches that we're going to have this weekend. But we just can't get started without our third guest. If you haven't noticed, our colleague Tyler's not here, but we found, I think, what we would say a suitable replacement, right, Lizzie?
Let's see.
Without further ado, the Sultan of Sexy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pretty Rich Wise.
Hello, and please don't forget to introduce my little valet, Ravishing Rico.
And of course, Rico. Thank you.
The cutest.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Lissy. I appreciate that. You're not too bad yourself.
Looks like you're going to be getting some great brownie points with everyone here because Rico has finally made an appearance. And I think Rico gets over at some of the shows whenever he's around. Would you agree with me, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid these ladies try to steal my dog all the time. So I'm careful where I bring him. There's Miami girls I don't really trust down there, kind of skeezy. So I try to keep Mr. Rico away as much as I can. But you guys are blessed with his presence tonight.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Yes. And happy Halloween to everyone. I know, Rich, you were just recovering from this past weekend. So talk to me really about how Pompano Creepy Carnival went for you, my friend.
Did you say recovering?
Well,
what are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating anything. I just know that you had a very hard-fought match that night. So I know that you guys are all recovering from all the shows you guys are working, and I'm just asking, how are you doing after a Creepy Carnival?
I recovered the second that I got out of that ring. Okay, I don't know if you weren't there, were you, Axel?
Unfortunately, I was not.
Do you even know what happened? Did you watch?
I heard some things, but I wanted to go straight to the source to get it directly from you.
Yeah, that's very smart. Come straight to the source instead of repeating the stupid things that you hear. I am not recovering. I've been fine. Basically, what's going on right now is I went to CCW asking for a shot at some gold. I think one of those CCW titles would look great wrapped around my waist. So I went to the brass and I asked for an opportunity. So you know what they did, right? They thought they were real cute. They thought they were real funny. So they hooked me up in a tag team championship match against the South American Alliance at the next bash. Now, I don't have a tag team partner, right? We know this. I'm a singles professional wrestler. I don't need anybody. But come on, it's SAA. And I need a tag team partner if I want to fight for those championship belts. And I found the perfect partner in my friend Van Bruggen.
That's
7
right.
foot tall. Van Bruggen. Yeah, check that guy out.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, great leadway into our next segment, which is going to be talking about Bash at the Brew. And how privileged do you feel that you finally get an opportunity from CCW management again at another championship gold? I know you had an opportunity with Ozzy Killmeister in the past, didn't really go your way, but I think your chances are looking pretty good with someone like Van Bruggen on your side.
I feel like you're always taking shots at me. Like, I should be blessed that they gave me this chance. What do you cover your mouth, Lissy? I see what you're doing. Don't laugh. You guys are really going to irritate me. I don't know if I can last that long. Listen to me. It is an opportunity for Van Bruggen and I, obviously, to get those championship belts. But more importantly, CCW should want those belts around our waists. We are way better looking, way better athletes than that fat kid with the mask on and Ariel Levy, right? What's that little purple thumbs up on mine? Does that mean somebody likes what the hell I'm saying?
I'm not really sure. This is my first
You don't
time
see that?
CCW Insider. I did see that.
I can tell. I can tell. Go ahead. Listen, do you got any smart ass questions for me?
No, sir, not as of now. Keep going.
Okay. I got a new boa coming for you, maybe.
Oh gosh, I hope it's not as sweaty as the usual ones are.
No, it's just baby oil. It's not sweat. It's just baby oil.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't know if that's better.
Let's talk a little bit about this matchup right here. I mean, we have Vinicius and Ariel Levy. You're going to be taking on the now two-time CCW Tag Team Champions who have been on a clear path of defending their CCW Tag Team Championships as of late with anyone who's really stepped inside in the ring with them. So how are you feeling? Now that
I'm feeling fantastic. Dude, have they faced anything like Van Bruggen before? Anything close to someone that size?
I think arguably the Crown would be a good comparison to
the Crown is about 6 foot tall. Van Bruggen is 7 foot tall giant monster, man. I mean, you could talk about the greats like your Shawn, your Diesel, your Big Cass, your Enzo. Well, they have no idea what we are going to bring to that ring November 2nd. And it's my birthday, November 6th, just so you know. So, I think I'm going to get myself a little present this weekend. And I'm not talking about Lissy.
Okay.
Well,
so Rich, just
Yeah.
obviously like on this same topic, in the same theme of, that combination style of tag team that you're talking about. You and Van Bruggen obviously have not been together that long. You're going up against a very well-established South American alliance. They've been tagging together for years, very long reigning tag team champions. How are you guys, so to speak, doing some type of crash course together or, getting to know each other so that you can be ready for this weekend?
We're already ready for this weekend. I know Van Bruggen. We had a couple beers. We talked about it. Guy likes Heineken. It's not going to take too much to take care of those guys. Vinicius is I don't even know what he's ever saying. Is that Brazilian? Bye, nah, no. No. Ariel Levy, I can't understand what that Chilean little fool is ever saying half the time. My body is way better than his. So if you just match up Ariel Levy versus the Sultan of Sexy Pretty Rich Wise, I am more beautiful. I have a way better body. I know I haven't been around as long as that old fool, but if you just put us next to each other, I would kick his ass. You know that. Then let's put up Vinicius against the 7 foot Van Bruggen, a freaking monster. He's going to put that Van Bruggen hammer right up top that guy's head. Watch that boy go down. We got a little special move that we came up with. You're asking have we prepared? We've prepared. We both live here in the same area outside of Orlando, Florida. This is how we met. They weren't expecting that. They weren't expecting me to know. Pretty Rich Wise knows everybody from South Florida to Daytona to Tampa. I'm a Sultan of Sexy, baby. Rico,
You get around.
I heard you get around too, but I wasn't gonna. I can't control myself.
Well, to bring it back here, guys.
Don't try me. Don't try me. Don't try me. Don't do too much
You
now.
set yourself up. You set yourself up.
Don't do too much.
Well, Rich, I will give you some credit. I do think that you guys do bring this element of surprise because, as we just saw, the last week was really the real time that we got to see you and Van Bergen really team up, and it was even in a six-man tag team match. So I think you guys do bring some element of surprise with this tag team opportunity or tag team championship opportunity that I think a lot of fans are going to be just taken aback to see maybe how well you guys do mesh together as a tag team so quickly. So just to give you a little bit more credit, as I said, I will give you guys that ability to come in as new form team that maybe Ariel Levy and Vinicius don't really have much to study on in order to try to, get a quick win if that's what they're thinking.
If you were to watch the match, you'll notice that me and Van Bruggen worked quite well together. Now, I got a little overzealous and kept tagging myself in because I wanted to prove that I could do this all on my own, and I was trying to do these guys a favor. Alex Chamberlain decided to walk out on me. I don't know what his problem is, but if you notice, we were kicking Monster Mosh's ass and the bald guy with the skeleton face. So I'm not too worried about this weekend.
Well, do you think that maybe now this week will be a bit more of a different story and you being more of a team player? I mean, there's a lot riding on this. It's the CCW Tag Team Championships we're talking about. So maybe having a little bit more of a better communication strategies between the two of you.
When we left Creepy Carnival the other day, I joined up with Van Bruggen one more time. We talked it out, and I apologize for just. He thought I was just trying to get all the glory, and trying to shine, showboat out there. That's not me. I'm a very humble guy, obviously. I don't need the spotlight all the time. I know you guys do. You're those kinds of people, but I'm not that guy. So I'm going to work well with Van Bruggen, and I think he's ready to kick some ass with me.
Well, we're going to have to see this Saturday. If you haven't gotten your tickets, get them already so you can see possibly new tag team champions being crowned this weekend at Bash at the Brew. But let's go over to our next match. Pretty Rich Wife, thank you for being able to stay with us. This match, this upcoming one, this was supposed to happen at Conquer Kissimmee 28. Wasn't able to, but now we're finally getting this dream match, I would say, between Skits and Stallion Rogers. Lizzie, let's go to you first. Let's get your thoughts on this match.
Yeah, definitely a contrast here. We have Skits, who I think that Skits is in such obviously he's always evolving and we never know which personality of Skits we're going to get. So I think that that's always that unpredictable factor that he brings to the table. And then you have someone who's very solid, very consistent, like Stallion Rogers. He usually just looks like he can't be bothered, but like I said, very solid, very consistent. He's bringing the chops. That he's just really going in there with the intent of hurting someone. So usually I would use the fans are the winner for something like this, but I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be Stallion Rogers.
Interesting point. I just would like to mention, I mean, you did have some great points with Agony being back, who was the gentleman you were referring to with the creepy skeleton mask. It's just very hard to say what could happen now. I mean, it's very out of character for Skits, and it's very hard to define what Skits' character really is with so many personalities. But I think for him to even try to bring Agony would be an interesting play for Skits here. Of course, that's not something that we normally see Skits do in these type of matches. But I mean, when he's trying to climb up the ladder himself, I think this is any man or any game. Oh man, I can't even remember the saying, but yeah.
You're trying to say this is anybody's match is what you're trying to say.
Anybody's match. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I disagree. I disagree. You have your former CCW Tag Team Champion and Stallion Rogers. He is a known badass. And then he's going up against a guy that has no testosterone in his body. He's like a little millennial freak, doesn't know he has a little mental patient. He's got arms just about as skinny as yours, Axel. And you think that it's any man's match? My money's on Stallion.
Axel, stand up for yourself.
Yeah, I would like to, but with Pretty Rich Wise, I think I like to keep the peace with these guys, you know. And you know what? I won't say that I will say something, but maybe I'll tell Ariel Levy or Vinicius a little something before their match, just to get them a little bit more riled up. Maybe, you know, get a little slam in there for me or something. I don't know. I can't fit. I don't really do the ring stuff. I just stay behind the scenes stuff for you guys. But anyway, moving on to our first title match that we're going to be talking about, our CCW Cruiserweight Championship being put back on the line with Ozzy Killmeister taking on Alan Estuas Martinez. Talking more about dream matches. I know these two have stepped inside the ring numerous times, but I think this is really that fans treat. I know this is really going to be that fans are the winner in this match, but without going that way, let's be serious about it. Rich, I want to get your opinion because you faced both of these two guys in the past. Ozzy for the Cruiserweight Championship, and then Alan Estuas Martinez, someone who you are very familiar with whenever you tag in and out of the Golden Chileans or South American Lions.
Yes, I've worked both of those guys in the ring multiple times. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win with this one. They're both great competitors. I'll give them both that. Ozzy's obviously a little fatter. I don't know if he can run around and keep up with Alan, but I hope Ozzy keeps that title because I'm not finished with him. I told him I'd give him a bath and then take that strap from him. So eventually it's going to be mine.
It's just very hard, I guess, to try to segue from all these answers. But you know what? What can we expect from the Sultan of Sexy? Nothing less. But I would like to say that.
Are you saying that? Hold on. Are you saying that you were so unprofessional every time that I speak, you just get stuck on your mouth and you don't know what to say?
Just you fluster me, Rich. Let's just put it that way. You leave me a little flustered. You have the
why don't you turn around in that closet of yours and try to put on an adult shirt? I don't even think we made CCW child shirts, but obviously you grabbed yourself one.
Oh my god.
You know what? We make all size shirts for all of our fans here, my friend. But yeah. As I was saying, Ozzy Killmeister has become our Cruisermeister, of course, who's defended the most times his Cruiserweight Championship, as he's told me. I think he's now going on his 18th title defense with this one with Alan Estuas Martinez. 18th That's amazing. Title defense. If I could be wrong, but last time I fact checked with Ozzy, we were either at 17th, going on 18th. That's where we left it at. So that's.
I think I saw something said that he had more title defenses than anybody, right? At CCW.
Yeah. So that just goes to say that Ozzy is that hardworking champion that we've always talked about here in CCW. I don't want to say that the summer of Alan Estuas Martinez is over, but we are moving into that fall season, you guys. And I think it's a bit of a wrap. And no offense to Alan Estuas Martinez, but with how good Ozzy has been in defending these titles against any competitor, it's very hard to argue that that's going to be stopping anytime soon.
Hopefully they knock each other out.
Well, then there's that too. Next, we have another interesting matchup. Here we have Eddie Valentine with a new Knight Rider. Who this could be, we don't know. It could be Marvin Cruz. I know a protege that he's taken up as of late to take on the Crown. We were just speaking previously about the Crown. Rich, let's get your thoughts about who this mysterious partner could be for Eddie Valentine, or is it already? Or have you met his new protege, Marvin Cruz?
I've seen Marvin Cruz. I've seen that they were working together. Eddie's great, and Eddie might be able to. Joe Garcia obviously wasn't. What's the word I'm looking for? He wasn't gracious enough. He didn't appreciate what he had with Eddie Valentine. He jumped away. That's his dumbass fault. So if Marvin got the spot, good on him. But the Crown's tough. I've faced those guys in the ring as well, and they're two brainless idiots that they're just kind of like animals released from a cage. That just be careful out there, Eddie. I hope you got a good tag team partner.
I will say that as of late, I know Eddie has been taking Marvin under his wing, but there has been some miscommunications as of late, whether it be in Eddie's singles matches or their tag team matches. So I'm not sure how wise maybe it would be to bring someone as new as Marvin to this tag team match against the Crown. As Pretty Rich Wise put it, these two men are quite animals in the ring, and it'd just be like throwing a sheep to wolves. And maybe that's a good way to teach Marvin Cruz how to hold up his own. I mean, Joe Garcia is a great example of being put through the ringer by Eddie, I assume at some point, but just look how he came out to be and in the solos career that he's having. So
Eddie turned Joe Garcia into who he is today. So
yeah, it's unreasonable to think that somebody like Marvin Cruz, who's had minimal exposure, right, can go in and tag with, obviously Eddie's a veteran. Joe, I'm sorry, not Joe. Marvin needs time. Joe needed time. It took Eddie and Joe a lot of time, a lot of reps to get to where they were as a tag team. And then when you're talking about the crown, again, over 500 days as CCW tag team champions, they're brothers. They've been working together their entire lives. You can't just walk into a situation like that and expect that type of result. So similar to what I was saying earlier, it's hard when you just throw people together in a tag team and just expect them to, pop in and get a big win, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible indeed, and we could see that this weekend. Who will be Eddie's Valentine's mystery opponent? We won't know until this Saturday. It's a great question to ask. It's a great question that I'll be trying to find out before the show. But moving on to our next matchup, it's going to be the women's division back on Spotlight here for CCW, as we're talking about Nikki Blackheart with our CCW women's champion, Ruthie J, the 5-star athlete, of course, taking on Carolina Cruz. Now, this match, when I first heard it was being announced, I think it's very interesting, and I've been dying to see this match because Carolina Cruz has been talking about so many times wanting to get that opportunity to battle against Ruthie J. But I think first and foremost, before she gets that opportunity, she's going to have to go through Nikki Blackheart, I mean. So, Lizzie, let's get your thoughts on this.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, we have to remember she's already wrestled Ruthie. And Caroline is obviously, she's not new, but she's definitely new to the last territory. And Ruthie is at this juncture in her career, she's at the top of the CCW women's division. She's a veteran. She's an NWA superstar. She wrestles everywhere. She has a lot of that experience advantage over Carolina Cruz. And I think that at this point, Ruthie's like, you don't got to go to the back of the line, but you got to go to the back of my line. So she puts forth her enforcer. And Nikki Blackheart is not someone that you want to play with. I'm pretty sure she's bigger than everybody on this line right now. You
Probably
don't want to.
Rich.
I didn't say any names, but she's not the one. And I think that Carolina's definitely going to have her hands full this weekend. But I will say, yes, sir.
Yes, I think Nikki will whoop your little butt if she hears that you're calling her big. Nikki's not big. She is a badass, beautiful woman. And she is going to.
And she has big muscles, and she is big. She's big. You can be big and bad and be a woman. So don't twist the words over here. We're not doing that. Don't, like I told you earlier, Rich, don't do too much.
Don't do too much. Okay, can I get my 2 cents in now? You done, Lissy?
Go ahead.
I'm not going to comment on the weight of any woman. I'm not that kind of guy. But I'm going to tell you that Nikki Blackheart is going to kick Carolina Cruz's ass. Ruthless Ruthie J is just going to sit there and laugh. She's Carolina, you're not going to get the chance at Ruthie. You're not going to get through Nikki Blackheart. That is a bad woman.
Well, I will say that I think that this match is very important for Carolina Cruz. My pick will be for Carolina, only because I think that this is a very decisive match for her in order for her to be given another title opportunity. I think she does have a lot of credit to cement as to argue why she deserves another opportunity. But I think getting a win against Nikki Blackheart, the enforcer, the bodyguard, the whatever you want to call her, of Ruthie J, is definitely, I think, a good testament to earn or be given that next title opportunity, whether that may be at our show next week or a month from now. But I think Carolina is going to need a big win this weekend.
And don't forget, this is Carolina's backyard.
That's right. We are.
And if she loses, she's done. She doesn't get her opportunity, right?
Well, that's going to be up to CCW management, and I have no room to speak on that.
Yeah, I have no faith in CCW management. Let me just throw that out there real quick.
Anyway, now match at the Brew, we're going to have more of a title defenses here with a CCW Southeastern Championship match. Domino, who just defended his CCW Southeastern Championship over in Nashville last Friday, is now going to be taking on the Authority Eddie Torres. But of course, with Dr. Eric Christopher by his side, and anytime these two gentlemen are here, it's going to be destruction. I saw them just destroy Domino at the last Bash at the Brew, so I'm not really sure what's going to come about from this particular match. But if I were Eddie, I think, not getting the win here is going to be important by any means necessary, but certainly walking out that championship, I think, is going to be even more important this time around. So let's go to you, Lizzie, or Rich, whoever would like to take that.
This is a matchup that I've actually been very excited for. Eddie Torres is one mountain of a man. That guy's got a huge barrel chest, and I'm just not a big fan of Domino, obviously, for personal reasons. That guy thinks he's something. He's a Miami's favorite little boy down there. His mother's always at ringside.
Yes.
Great. Well, Eric Christopher, that guy knows what he's doing. Dr. Eric Christopher, he's got a PhD. He's a smart man. He's wise. But Eddie Torres, man, that guy just he's an old-fashioned knock him down bruiser, and I don't see Domino getting through him. I think that we have a new Southeastern champion this weekend.
It's nothing against Eddie. Like you said, Eddie is a grizzled veteran. He has the good doctor Eric Christopher in his corner. A pool of wisdom, so to speak. But Domino is still on a roll, guys. Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, you say that he's, Miami's little poster boy, whatever. He thinks he's all these things. He doesn't think he's all these things. He is all these things. And he has the fans behind him. He really has also helped to take CCW a lot of places. Look at us. We're on the cover of the Miami Herald. That's not by accident. I think that Domino does a lot for us in and out of the ring. And I think that a place like Hialeah, which again is really kind of becoming the house that Domino built, he's not losing, and Eddie's not taking that belt off him anytime soon.
Interesting point, and we're just gonna have to see what happens. I know that with Dr. Eric Christopher always by Eddie Torres' side, like Rich said, he's a very devious and wise man. So Domino, just definitely have your head on.
I didn't say devious. I said wise.
I said wise.
You just said like Rich Wise said. He said he was devious. That's how stuff gets started, Axel.
Like Rich said, he's a wise, and I'm saying also devious man there.
Yeah,
moving on to our next matchup. I'm just stating facts here at times. This is going to be a very big one. We're going to have the 5-star era of ERA and Ricky Martinez taking on the two arguably faces of CCW at this time, Cha-Cha Charlie and Jackal Stevens. So let's really break down this one. I know that there was been some frustrations with Jackal sometime now with not getting maybe the wins that he's been looking for, not climbing up the ranks in some of the championship pictures that he's been wanting. So this match, as you said, Lizzie, very important, huge match when we're going to have four of these guys who are veterans of CCW just clash this Saturday. So let me get your thoughts on it.
I think that there's not just frustration with Jackal. I think that there's also frustration between ERA and Ricky. I mean, how long can one team go with continuing to just miss the opportunity to win gold? Obviously, Ricky reminded ERA recently that ERA, he's touched that gold before. He's been a tag team champion with a previous partner. I think that it's really important that the fact that they've been tag team partners, for the better part of 15 years, and they haven't touched that gold yet. So I think that it's definitely causing some tension between 5-star era. And then, of course, we have Cha-Cha Charlie and Jackal Stevens. They know each other so well, too well, probably. I think that, Cha-Cha is obviously, like we always, I'll use Tyler's phrases since he's not here. He's the golden goose. What does he else call him? Face that runs the place. He's the CCW franchise. And similarly, Jackal Stevens just as popular, but we've been seeing a very different Jackal Stevens lately. Ever since he lost the Southeastern Championship, he hasn't been himself. So I really feel like he's just been so focused on his singles wins because he wants that gold that ERA and Ricky Martinez really could put one over on these guys this weekend if they don't keep their eyes on it, because 5-star era is hungry.
I agree. 5-star era. Can I make my point before you interrupt me? Axel, jeez, man, I thought we'd take turns. That's how this thing goes.
What is happening?
Ricky Martinez, one of the best physiques in Coastal Championship Wrestling. Obviously, he's a great wrestler. Then you have one of the most cunning, most skillful performers in ERA. Those guys are a great tag team. They work together well. You know, they've had some issues, like you said, but let's talk about the other team in Jackal and Cha Cha, two pompous, big head fools that both think that they're the face of the place. They ain't going to be able to tag together. I've actually had a tag team match against those two way back when. I I don't see. I think Jackal's frustrated, like you just said. I think something's going to happen between those two. I don't think they're going to be able to work together.
Well, I agree with Rich for different reasons. Only because though there may be some tension brewing between the five-star era, I think that these guys have been knowing each other well enough for over the past 20 years that they know how to handle business when they know that they're maybe going through the ups and the downs of being a tag team, right? But let's not forget that the last time Jackal and Cha-Cha Charlie did team together, they lost to the Crown because they had miscommunication issues. They weren't seeing eye to eye. So I agree with Rich in that sense that when it comes to these two guys, Jackal and Cha-Cha, they seem to work very well separately, but when it comes to maybe trying to have them work together, it's something's not clicking there. But we could see a different story this Saturday in Miami at the Tank for Bash at the Brew 46. Moving on to, I think it is going to be our final matchup. But before we do, I'm just going to play a quick video package because we're going to be talking about our main event match between Alex Chamberlain and the CCW World Champion, Meadow. Mm-hmm. That's right. A rivalry renewed between these two gentlemen. I mean, Lizzie, you can speak more about it from the last time that these two guys went head to head. I mean, in that video package, we just saw these two men just tearing at each other. Alex Chamberlain seemed to be stabbing Meadow in the forehead with some kind of spike or drill, whatever that may have been. But this is going to be the third time that these two men are going to be squaring inside the ring. Last time it was when Meadow challenged Alex Chamberlain for the Southeastern Championship, and that's when that historic reign for Meadow really started as our Southeastern champion. But now the roles are going to be reversed. Alex Chamberlain challenging Meadow for the CCW World Championship. Let's take a round pool discussion. Pretty Rich, let's start with you about this match. What are your thoughts?
You know, it is an old rivalry. It was a good one. It was fun to watch. I'd like to say Alex would win this one. He's the beast, and I had him as a partner last week. But honestly, the way he walked away from our match, I don't know how much his heart's really into the business anymore. Meadow's pretty nasty. He's been on a roll. If Alex has his stuff together and he really wants to go out there and get that title, I think he could get it. I think he is the more complete professional wrestler over Meadow, has more experience, and I think that he could do it. But he's got to have his heart in
it. Interesting. Lizzie, any thoughts?
I think, Rich, you've made really, really great and solid points, but I think that looking back from that match, couple things come to mind here. This is a different Alex Chamberlain that we're looking at today, and it's a very different Meadow that we're looking at today. So it's almost like they've grown up, but in kind of like different directions, right? We are not seeing as much of Alex Chamberlain lately, and I think, Rich, that's playing on what you're talking about. Like, you don't know where his head is, so to speak. Meadow has really just been on a rocket recently, obviously over, I don't even know, Axel, remind me of how many days he was the Southeastern champion. I can't even remember. It was that long. So just super long reign, 500 plus days or so as the CCW Southeastern champion, and really fit right into that next spot. Took out QT Marshall. No, we really were like, who can beat QT? So we're in such a weird place with the two of them right now, because Meadow is just, like I said last week, he's at the top. And then we have somebody like Alex, who, veteran, we know what type of animal Alex Chamberlain can be. We don't call him the most dangerous man for nothing. But it's really just one of those things where it's like, who wants it more? Does Meadow want to hold on to the belt more than Alex wants it? We're gonna find out this weekend. It's really anybody's match, and I hate to end it on something like that, but I don't think anybody's really tested Meadow the way that Alex Chamberlain can.
That's right. And I think this will be one of Meadow's biggest challenges to his CCW World title reign thus far. He took on Hardcore Horvath just last Friday, but there's really no comparison to someone, like you said, the most dangerous man really in CCW, Alex Chamberlain. What's going to be guaranteed is that these two men are going to leave it all in the ring. But it's really hard to argue right now, like Lizzie said, to really stop that momentum that Meadow's been having since winning that title. I think now the new question, well, the question was, who can stop QT? I think that now the new question is going to be, who can really stop Meadow? And though I do think that Alex Chamberlain is a very good argument as to who can stop Meadow, I don't think this weekend we're going to be seeing Meadow's reign come to an end. I think we're going to be seeing Meadow still come out on top. But these two men are going to be leaving it all on the line, maybe bloody, but it's going to be one hell of a match, and you definitely aren't going to want to miss it. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, get them now at ccwrestlingfl.com. Come join us at the Tank Brewing in Miami. I will be there. Pretty Rich Wise will also be there with his new partner, Van Bruggen, the 7-foot-tall giant from Canada, as well as all the stars that we just talked about and many more. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, get so today. It saves you the hassle of having to show up at the venue, buying tickets at the door. You can just already buy it online, skip it, get a drink, and find a seat and enjoy a great night. We're going to be standing room only probably by the first 30 minutes that we open the door and get really into our show. So you might want to get there early and come out and join us. Rich, before we go, anything else that you'd like to add about your weekend ahead of you?
Do I have to deal with you? Are you going to be there?
I will be there, my friend.
Now I'm your friend. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys having me, even though, Lissy, you're a little snarky sometimes, but that's okay. I'll see you this weekend. And thank you guys for having me. And I'm sure you guys are so thankful that I have blessed you with my presence tonight and my wisdom as well.
Can't wait for it not to happen again.
See you this weekend.
Well, he's a great guest. I mean, this is the second time that Rich has joined us, so I think people are asking for him to
come. What you say about that? Let's see. Ooh, you missed that. Is that what you're waiting for, girl? It's nice. You like that? You like what I got going on there? It's like a wind.
I've been telling you all night, don't do too much.
Well, to save Rich from any more embarrassment that may come from the hands of Lizzie, guys, thank you for joining us here at CCW Insider. Join us next week as we break down Concord Kissimmee 29 and Havoc in Hayes 8, I believe, in Tampa at 7:30 next Wednesday. Follow us online at CCW Live TV on all social media platforms, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel at coastalchampionshipwrestling.com. Thank you guys, and hope to see you guys next week.
You have been watching CCW Insider, produced by Minutes to Bell Time in association with Coastal Championship Wrestling.
So
I love this show so much.